Welcome, Manan.
Hey, hey. Yeah, thanks for having me here. And yeah, I think we are Farcaster shows as well. Nothing much like building your company and betting it on Farcaster. So yeah, here we are. Um, it would be great to do this like question and answer like back and forth. I don't have a presentation, so would be just best to directly jump in. I'll start with a brief intro and then maybe we can jump into the Q&A. So a little bit of background about myself. I have been doing engineering for about 15 years now. Currently working on Neynar, which is a developer platform built on Web3 social protocols. We started with Farcaster, where we have the most conviction, and then we'll see if we want to expand out. Prior to this, I have years of experience working in consumer tech. And more recently, I worked at Coinbase for 5 years building Web3 products within Coinbase properties. So the MPC wallet that you see in the Coinbase app, Coinbase NFT, and a few others. So yeah, that's been my journey. Been around crypto for quite a long time. Not leaving anytime soon. So excited to continue building. But instead of on blockchains, like on Farcaster is our next venture here.
Amazing. So, could you do like a quick intro, perhaps, of like what Neynar is and what led you to choosing Farcaster?
For sure. So I think it's going to be hard to describe Neynar without going into why we decided to pick Farcaster because um, like a lot of things about Neynar like come from the fact that decentralized social was something that we really believed in. So when I say we, me and my co-founder Rish, we both worked at Coinbase together. We operated same teams for about 3.5 years. He was the product manager, I was the engineering manager, and as part of that, we were exploring Web3 social and like how Coinbase's approach in that space could evolve and so on. We discovered and explored like BitCloud, Lens, and then came across Farcaster as well. We did our like analysis around like okay, where where each architecture is going and what direction these teams are taking them. It kind of provided as like a foundational research for us in terms of like okay, we had a foundational understanding of like how social needs to be different from financial aspects of crypto, where trust in terms of like not having spam, all of those things are quite critical to gathering a good community together. And Farcaster was more focused on community and tech early on. They were not focused on like onboarding lots of people altogether. And again, like the fundamentals that they had gotten right sounded like um, you would only need to broadcast things into the network. They wouldn't necessarily be on chain. And that really struck a note with me because I don't think everything needs to belong on a blockchain. Like or you should only put things on a blockchain if there needs to be consensus about a certain fact or whatnot. Other than that, like you can just broadcast things out, and that should be fine. So just that fundamental architecture piece, made us believe that the technology is scalable and it's also um, in line with like how you build social, which is like community first. So that's how we picked Farcaster. How we started Neynar, we actually started building a client. Neynar was a mobile focused client when we started off. And in order to build that client, we had to build a lot of infra. We had to build an indexer on top of the hubs. We had to build APIs on top of that. If you know like Workcast and like the Merkle team, they've been around for 3 years doing this. We were going to be nowhere close to them if we were just like building another client. And so one day we decided to just as an experiment externalize our infrastructure, saying, hey, we want to actually provide APIs and hubs as a service. And that immediately took off. Like it resonated so much with developers that uh, we were able to kind of like shift. We put the mobile app on the side, and then we completely focused on our infrastructure and started building that out. As a result, we've been able to power a lot of the other secondary clients that have cropped up in the Farcaster ecosystem. For example, Flink, and more recently Supercast. There's a bunch of them incoming, which are mobile clients as well. So it feels like we weren't able to get to the mobile client ourselves, but like we're helping Farcaster decentralize a little bit more by powering others to get there faster.
That's awesome. I never knew that. It's always fun to get these history lessons. Before I jump into my next question, Wesley actually had one. So, Farcaster has been exploding lately, and Neynar has obviously been a very important piece of infra. Would love to hear how the past couple of weeks have been for you and how you're keeping up.
Yeah, lots of sleepless nights, lots of nights with like just 4 hours of sleep. That's how we've been keeping up. um, the, this is not like there's no secret sauce behind it. It's just like, okay, you got to put in hard work when the demand is coming through, and we're happy to serve the new folks that are coming on board. Um, Always find it surprising that like other people find it surprising that we as founders like respond quickly, and we DM them to solve issues and whatnot, because that's like second nature for us. So if you're like going and doing something of your own and whatnot, like that's like bare bones that you should be doing for customers. Um, yeah.
100%. You guys have been super helpful with anything I've ever needed from you. But okay, so this is kind of like the history lesson is kind of like a Amazon.com and then AWS story. Well, decentralized, obviously. So I love to hear that. It's great that sort of moved into the infra stuff, and today I don't think I can particularly imagine Farcaster without Neynar anymore. I feel like it would be significantly worse developer experience. So, congratulations on all of that. Now, I want to jump into sort of a
Thank you.
slightly tangential topic over here. Is like, so given Farcaster's obviously growing a lot, Neynar's critical piece of infra today. For people in the audience who either are not on Farcaster yet, or like haven't experienced like building on Farcaster,
Mhm.
what's like try to like to inspire them to build on Farcaster? Like, what's like a quick pitch according to you?
Yeah, I think the recent experiment that the Merkle team launched. By the way, Merkle is the team behind Farcaster and Warcast. Warcast is the client, Farcaster is the network, and then Merkle is the team behind it. So just to clarify over there, but Merkle launched an experiment with frames. Frames are a way for developers to or companies to embed dynamic content within Workcast. And what I mean by dynamic content could be ranging from like um, anything between like a sequence of images. So think of a story on Instagram, to a full-fledged application where somebody actually built a frame where you could check out cookies, you could buy cookies. So I think that's one of the biggest wins within consumer crypto. Most consumer crypto suffers from lack of distribution, meaning they don't have an audience to experiment and push out their consumer experiences to. And Workcast, having built up an audience, they actually unblocked a lot of other developers to come utilize that attention that Webcast is getting, right? So I think if you want to get started, like first off, like I would just say like join Webcast. Webcast.com is currently free for anybody that has US phone numbers. It is only $5 a year, I believe, for if you don't have a US phone number. So sign up there. That's pretty important because that's where all of the developer communities, all of the energy is, and so on. The second thing I would say is that start with building a frame because that's a lightweight way to ensure that what are you getting into in terms of like um, uh, the ROI for building a frame is really high. Meaning you build a frame, you see it, and you ship it on Farcaster, and you immediately start having others interact with it. So start with that, and then if you feel like diving deeper, there's obviously like other things like building alternative Farcaster clients. For example, Nouns recently proposed that they're putting out $50,000 for three grants to developers that are going to build Nouns specific Farcaster clients. So lots of opportunities in that space as well. Apart from like building clients, there's obviously core infrastructure work, some of which Hardik had started off here, which is building alternative implementations for Hubble, which is the node equivalent software for Farcaster. So obviously that's another area to dive into as well. Yeah.
Amazing. And I have a couple more questions leading into the sort of final ones. Actually, one more question leading into the final one I have for you. So,
Sure.
obviously, like if people were to analogize, I think folks who haven't been on Farcaster yet, you can kind of think of Neynar as like the Infura alchemy of Farcaster. It's not 100% accurate description, but like
Yeah.
you'd use like the hub access to the hubs and everything. But
Yeah.
recently, Neynar has been more than just hub access, right? We have like sign in with Neynar now. We have auth kits. We have like the whole frames related tooling you guys have launched.
Yeah.
So I guess like with that, the question is, so for an open source dev here, um, what are some places that you guys are looking for help, or where can open source folks start contributing besides building like net new things within Farcaster? How can folks start contributing to Neynar, and what are you looking for from there?
Yeah, a lot of our pieces of infrastructure are OpenStack, for example, open source. For example, our Node.js SDK, it's open source. Our API definitions, obviously, are also open source. Um, Sometimes what happens is that we put out a new API and it hasn't made its way into the SDK yet. So we generally offer this option to our customers as well, as in like, hey, our Node.js SDK is open source. Feel free to put up a pull request and like start contributing over there as well. We might not be able to get it in the next 1 or 2 days. So that's one way. Obviously, there's more incoming. We have a Neynar React SDK upcoming. So this will allow you to embed casts, profiles, widgets, as well as feeds into your applications without writing any API code. You will be able to just drop in a component and have that component be there. And this will be seamlessly working with Sign with Neynar, such that whenever a user taps on a like button or a recast button, it'll immediately move them to the auth flow, authorize the full flow, and then the component itself will be able to write. So this is a full-fledged comments or as a service or interaction like social as a service getting baked into any type of other application that you want. So we'll keep that Nena React SDK open source as well. So happy to get contributions over there as well. We'll put up contributing guidelines as well.
Amazing. Okay. I know you have a hard stop. I'll open it I'll open up the floor if somebody else has any questions for you. Um, but so, yeah, I linked the Neynar GitHub. The good first issues tagged ones are available on the OSS tracker on the website. And yes, if you haven't joined Farcaster yet, join now. It's free to sign up for now from a few countries. Otherwise, $5 a year. Um, but okay, I'll see if any other questions pop up.
I see somebody just signed up as we were talking, so that's great.
Yes, I love to see that. Proliferate Farcaster.
Yeah. Hardik, what got you into Farcaster?
I think I was exploring generally just the decentralized social landscape for a while. I was on like all of them, right? Like CyberConnect, Lens, Farcaster, Blue Sky, Nostr, yada yada yada. I think Farcaster is just kind of where I found the community that I was interested in the most, and then that just got me bullish on it mainly because I feel like the people are who make up the social protocol the most.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. By the way, time and again, we've seen evidence from the founding team, Dan and Varun, that they are committed to building protocol first. Even though like they need to be building like the best client on top of the protocol, they have gone back to their original promise of like, hey, we want to build a protocol, and so they've gradually decentralized more and more and more. So excited for like things like channels, direct casts, all of those to become more decentralized.
Yeah, 100%. I'm very happy that they said that this year their protocol is going to be stabilized and there's not going to be many breaking changes. So that gives me a lot of hope for Teleport right now. But I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to that. Hopefully, Teleport launches well in a few months.
gotcha.
Perfect. If there's no other questions, Manan, I know you have to go, but we can start wrapping up. But yeah, thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here. Super happy about it. I hope you get to see some OSS contributions soon. I don't know if there's some already that are coming in, but definitely check out Neynar, check out Farcaster, and I'm personally super happy to answer any questions related to it. Otherwise, Manan's on the Discord now. Feel free to
yeah.
tag. Yeah.
And also feel free to like just direct cast me. Direct cast is the equivalent of DMs. Like DM me on Warpcast or like Farcaster whenever you join, and I'm happy to respond to questions about Neynar as well as Farcaster as well. So yeah,
100%. Perfect. See, somebody's typing. Um, okay. Wesley, do you have anything else to add right now?
Not too much, no. I think you guys said it already, but there's just in general so much exciting stuff happening on Farcaster.
yeah, yeah,
It opened up so many new things, a completely new design space. What we've seen with channels, with frames now, the development of all these things of open protocols and open social networks are just crazy. It definitely reminds me of the early phases of Twitter as well, when we had open APIs. All of that got locked down. And when you asked what one of the reasons of Hardik was why he joined, I would say for me it was similar, but also at the same time Elon was taking over Twitter and basically locking down all the APIs, all the data, because of bots and AI, and gathering all that data. I think it's super exciting that Farcaster is basically the opposite, right? It's an open social network where anyone can just tap in, build, and create cool new stuff with a lot of embedded things that we sort of take for granted in the crypto space, maybe. But the whole design space of all these things is super fascinating. So again, if you're not part of Farcaster yet, make sure to sign up. There's a lot of free ways to sign up. But if for whatever reason you're not able to, let us know as well. Maybe we can help you, as you can sponsor registrations for others as well. Would love to see all of you joining in there and hopefully experience having that same experience on Farcaster.
100%. Perfect. I love how this went from Neynar to just general. we all just love Farcaster now.
Yes.
Farcaster fanboys. Yeah.
Perfect.
I guess I'm gonna have to hop off. But yeah, thank you all for having me, and I'll see you all on Farcaster.
Awesome. Thank you, Manan. Have a
Bye.
great rest of your day.
Thanks, Manan.
Awesome. Okay. I'm gonna stop the recording.